Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Sunday Night Satsang with John and
Michelle. Hi.
Sorry, missed you last week. It was my granddaughter's birthday.
It was indeed.
Yeah, and we were celebrating that. So we're back with you again, and tonight we're looking at resist nothing. Resist nothing. Well, there's so much going on in the world at the moment that needs our resistance. So what are we choosing? A subject called resist nothing. Why did we choose that? Well, we'll go through it this evening with you. So welcome. We love to know who we're talking to, that we're talking to some humans out there. So if you can, just type up your name in the comments box. Tell us where you're from. Any comments you want to give us, please type that up in there. And we love getting the hearts. And if you find what we have to share of value, then if you can press the like and the share button and subscribe to our channel. Subscribe to our channel. Yeah,
Absolutely.
we need more subscribers. Subscribe, it helps us.
Yeah,
it helps get it out there. It really does. By pressing the like and the share button and commenting, it really does get it. What does it do?
Yeah, please do. I think it changes the algorithm.
Yeah,
or
does something like that.
Which
Does
we don't
something
quite
like that.
understand.
We don't.
Yeah.
we
We get told these things.
Yeah, that's right. So please just give your comments, and if you have any questions, type them up as well. We sometimes get to them during the satsang, and I love answering questions. I really do. So give us your questions, and if we don't get to them during the satsang, we'll get to them afterwards. And thank you for those hearts. Thank you very much.
We can't see for some reason who's joined us,
We
so why don't
can't
you
see.
just tell us who's with us?
In the comments, yeah.
Thank you.
And we will answer the questions afterwards if we don't get a chance to answer it during, and they can also prompt us for future satsang titles, subjects. If you know of anything you'd like clarity on or anything you'd like us to discuss, then type that up in the comment section as well. So thank you for being with us tonight. Hello, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie. Nor do we have any idea how
No,
the
the
Facebook thingy
works. No, nor
Hi,
do we.
Claire.
Hello, Claire. Hello, Claire.
Great. Hi, Christine.
Hi, Christine, you're here. Hello,
Lisa
Lisa from
from
Italy,
Italy.
and Christine from the UK. Yeah, hello, people. Just wait for a few more people to join. Yeah, it's a bit weird because sometimes it tells us exactly who's watching, and sometimes it doesn't.
It does its own thing.
We don't know, and so tonight is one of those nights where it's not telling us; it's just giving us the comments.
Communicating with us, so
Yeah.
we'll just go.
But we appreciate getting the hearts, so thank you for that.
So let us know if you've just joined us. Just send us a little comment saying where you're from.
Yeah.
Thank you
press
so
the
much.
like and the share button. Thank you.
Yes.
So let's do the most important part of the evening, which is centering ourselves in the here and now, in the present moment. Hello, Laura, Jean, and yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. So to settle back into wherever you are watching from, settle back into your chairs. Maybe you'd like to gently close your eyes for this one. We have a little candle here, which is really nice. You can look at a candle flame when we do the meditation. It's also very powerful. Hello, Sonia. Hello, Viv from Bulawayo. Thank you. Yeah, and so you can do it open-eyed or closed-eyed. When you close your eyes, it just brings your awareness into you. But if you're doing it with a candle and just staring at a candle flame, it also helps center the mind. So either way is perfect. No hard and fast rules here. So just settle back into your chairs, see that you're comfy, that you've got a few cushions, and that you won't be disturbed for the next little while. And gently, maybe if you want to, shut your eyes and just connect with life as it is in the here and now. And as the subject title for tonight is resist nothing, let's just practice that a little bit in this moment. Let's become aware of everything that we are aware of in this moment and just see where the resistance lies. Just see, let's look inside the body and see if we have any aches or pains that we're currently resisting. Pain occurs, discomfort occurs, and then we internally, psychologically, resist that pain or that discomfort. And that doesn't alleviate the pain or the discomfort. What it does, it actually creates more suffering. That's what it does. When we resist pain, it turns into suffering. When we resist discomfort, it turns into suffering. So say, for example, in this moment, there may be, if you live in an urban area, there may be a car alarm going off. A car alarm is just a sound. It's when we resist that alarm that we build up suffering inside ourselves. So let's just look inside our bodies now and see if we have any resistance to anything that's going on with the body. Become aware of the chair that you're sitting on. Become aware of the pressure under your bum. Become aware of the backrest. And just withdraw your mind from all of the times and all of the places and become completely focused within your body, here and now. Becoming aware of where your feet are pressing right now. Become aware of where your hands are touching. Become aware of any sounds that are entering your awareness through your ears. Become aware of any colors or pictures behind your eyelids. Resist nothing. Just allow whatever is to be in this moment, in the here and now. Become aware of your breath. Become aware of this very breath you're taking right now. And take a very deep breath in. And then just surrender it back to the cosmos. Take another very deep breath in. Draw it right down to the diaphragm, so you're blowing your tummy up like a big ball. Bigger, bigger, bigger. And then release it, let it go. Just let it go, surrender. Let it go. Try that one more time. Breathe in deeply, right down to your toes this time and up to the top of your head, so you're blowing your body up like a big ball. And then a long sigh out. Long sigh out. Just release. Just release. Now just allow life to breathe you gently in and out, but keep your awareness on the breath. And bring your attention to that slight pause between the in and the out breath, and the out and the in breath. There's a slight pause, space. Just bring your awareness to that. Don't try and control it in any way, though. Just becoming aware of this beautiful rhythmic flow, like waves on the shore, just washing in and then going out. Breathing in and out gently, but deeply. Bring your awareness to the tip of your nose and see if you can feel the temperature change between the in-breath and the out-breath, and the out-breath and the in-breath. At the same time as being aware of everything you can hear. Being aware at the same time of the chair that you're sitting on. Being aware of any discomfort in the body. At the same time being aware of your feet, where they're pressing, where they're touching right now. Is it carpet? Is it shoes? Becoming aware of your hands and where they're touching. Become aware of the temperature of the air in the room on your cheeks. Let's bring our awareness right now to the beating of our hearts. The heart is the seat of being. It's a seat of pure consciousness. And your heart beats every moment of every day. Of your entire life, your heart is beating. And you don't do it. There is a greater intelligence within your body that beats your heart. Bring your awareness back to the ears and listen very, very carefully and see if you can pick up that rhythmic beating in your eardrums. Every time your heart beats, it pushes a pressure wave through your eardrums. Become very still and quiet inside and see if you can pick that up. And now say to yourself, I wonder what my next thought is going to be. Let's try that again. Say to yourself, I wonder what my next thought is going to be. Become very quiet and still. Be the listening awareness, the awareness that's aware. And say to yourself again, I really wonder what my next thought is going to be. Let's take another deep breath in. Lovely long breath out. Just take a moment to be mindful of those people that we know who might be in a state of ill health or stress or anxiety. Maybe people experiencing grief. Bring them into your heart. Hold them in this space. Resisting nothing. Just holding them in an empathetic embrace in your heart, a place of acceptance, not trying to fix, just allowing in this moment, just allowing what is to be, holding them in a field of love and of peace. And let's extend with a power of intention this place of love and peace to encompass Mother Earth and all who live on her. To see the earth right now surrounded in a bubble of beautiful golden light, holding a beautiful space for higher awareness to arise within the minds and hearts of all men, women, children. Let's intend an opening to the highest frequency of light that people are able to accept at this moment. And do it with love and with peace, and even with a sense of joy for this transformation that we are going through at the moment. Now take another very deep breath in, blowing your tummy up like a big ball this time. Huge, huge, huge. And then let it all go. Sigh it all out. And gently, when you're ready, open your eyes. And just see how you feel in this moment. How do you feel? How do you feel?
Just lovely, John.
Just let us know in the comments box how you feel right now.
Much more relaxed.
Good. Good.
Thank you. That's really nice.
So what's happening in the heavens?
A lot.
In the heavens. Anyone feeling any energies coming in at the moment? Well, Michelle's going to tell us why.
Well, I did a vlog, or whatever they call it, a video. A vlog. But basically we're heading towards an eclipse, solar eclipse, which is a new moon, and that's happening on the 25th. So
which is
Tuesday. But the energies of an eclipse you can feel for up to 2 weeks before and a few weeks after, because it's much, much, much more powerful than a normal new moon. And this is the first one, and then the second eclipse will be in 2 weeks' time. So there's like an eclipse window, starting with a new moon and then culminating with a full moon.
Okay.
So it's very powerful energy always. This one is in the sign of Scorpio, which is a fixed sign, and there's a lot of fixed energy around, which is kind of resistant energy. It's not fixed energy, is not flowing energy. So there's a tendency to actually have quite a lot of resistance to what's happening. And if you look at the planets and you look at the signs that are involved, Scorpio, as I mentioned in my video, it's a water sign, and we have the moon, the sun, and Venus all bunched together in a tight little group, which doesn't happen very often, and it's very, very tight, like at the same degree, and they're all in Scorpio. And Scorpio is the sign that's related to transformation and metamorphosis, and it's ruled by two planets actually. It's got a modern ruler and an ancient ruler. And the modern ruler is Pluto. I've spoken about Pluto before. Pluto goes underneath the surface like a plumber, and he brings stuff up to the surface to
like
clear
what
it.
stuff? Shit.
Yes, something like that.
We'll speak plain language
anything
here.
from the unconscious that needs to come up for clearing will come up. So that's what I think a lot of people are experiencing. A lot of old patterns, that they might be visiting, particularly patterns dating back to 18 years ago, and then 18 years before that. That's the cycle, the eclipse cycle, when it was at the same place. So the modern ruler of Scorpio, the ancient ruler of Scorpio is Mars, and Mars is the planet of war. So there can be a tendency to go to war with what is arising, and there can be a tendency to resist what's arising. Sort of saying, why is this coming up again? It shouldn't be coming up again. It should have gone for good, and it might not have. So it is another opportunity to heal and to transform and to transmute the energy, but it's got to be felt, because it's in a water sign, and water's water. It's like water everywhere. So it can be quite intense. Intense grief can come up at this time. Loneliness, resentment, anger, anything that's been sitting underneath the surface. So I often do say that with new moons and full moons, but this one is probably a bit more potent.
Because of the eclipse.
Because of the eclipse, yeah. Eclipse has got a very, very strong energy. And what happens at a solar eclipse is that the feminine energy, which is the moon, passes over the sun. So it blocks the light of the sun. So you can almost say that the feminine rises up. And if you look at the feminine energy in astrology, it is the emotion that actually rises up at this time. So it's I think it's a good time to speak about let go of resistance, or no resistance, or resist nothing.
Resist nothing.
Because their tendency there is to resist.
Yeah, we say no when uncomfortable situations happen in life. Our first response is always, no, it shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
And Linda, you put up there, relaxed after this tremendously horrible energy. And, there's a gift in everything. When life is smooth and easy and we're not going through these cosmic energies of transformation, we can be quite comfortable in our dream. Everything's so smooth. We don't have to transform because it's so comfortable. But the moment we go through, as Linda says, horrible energy, that is such an opportune time to stand back from the story, because what is really horrible is the story of our lives. It's what's happening there and how it is mirrored in our thinking and in our emotions. But it's an opportunity to stand back from that terrible situation and find that part of yourself that's quiet and still and at peace, even though the world out there is in turmoil. So that's the opportunity, because when the world is fairly easy, it's easy to lose yourself as who you are in your situation. You can say, well, if your career is going well, I'm a good whatever it is. I'm a good business person. I'm a good salesperson. I'm a good whatever it is. If in your relationship, well, I'm a good father. I'm a good mother. I'm a good daughter, son, whatever, and we completely identify with the external situations. But when it gets difficult, when it gets challenging, there's the opportunity to say, what part of me is not caught up in that situation? What part of me in this moment is quiet and still? It is there. I know the mind will convince you it's not. It is. There's always the real essence of who you are is unconditioned awareness. And that awareness is unconditioned. In other words, there's no ups and downs in it. It's quiet and peaceful. And it's easier to see that in turbulent times than easy times because of the contrast. It's the contrast that makes it easier for us to see what we are and what we're not. So that's the opportunity right now that we are being given for transformation. And a lot of it has to do with emotions, with water.
Yeah, it's also just to notice, to see, because we've also got a beautiful air trine, which is actually helping us out, which reminds us to breathe, to bring our attention back to the breath when we feel like we're going underwater, and also to get perspective, to actually see that very often it's the story we're telling ourselves about the situation that's creating the discomfort and not the actual situation. So, we judge a situation, like, for example, we say the energy is horrible, and it's a story that we're telling ourselves. It's just energy. But the story we tell ourselves is that this shouldn't be like this, or that the energy is horrible, and when's this going to pass? And, we've got a perfect opportunity here where we live, because at the moment the wind is howling a gale, and it's been howling a gale for days. And there's a great tendency, because neither of us are particularly fond of wind. So there's a great, and it's sort of quite an unsettling energy, because it's very, very strong. So you can't open a door because everything blows away. And so the tendency is to see it as, why is the wind howling so much? The wind shouldn't be howling. The reality is the wind's howling. That's it. There's no other story about it. There's my thought about why is the wind howling? It shouldn't be howling, which is ridiculous because it is howling. But if we just see that, if we just see the propensity to judge it as bad, as bad, it shouldn't be. It would be better if it wasn't. It'll be better when it's not. And I think we do that with a lot of things.
Yeah. And through that non-acceptance, we create the suffering. Suffering is never created on the outside. Suffering is created on the inside. Yes, pain is created maybe from the outside in, but the suffering is an inside creation. So I just wanted to mention something. It came to mind there. You made a lovely stew this evening. Beautiful vegetable stew. It was really nice. Now, if the pot is all quiet and still, there wouldn't be a mixing of the flavors and it brings to the surface of the richness. So what happens is you can think of a nice still pot and you stick in a spoon and you start stirring it. Now, the vegetables might get very upset. Why am I being moved around like this? It's horrible. But through that process, there comes a transformation. And what comes out of that movement is a richness which couldn't have been there had everything been left not to move. So it is like that in our own lives. And talking of moving, we're busy moving at the moment. We're busy packing. We're moving to a farm end of the week. So this is the last time we're going to be doing it from this room, the Satsang from this room. And it changes never easy. You're the vegetable, you're the potato sitting there in the soup, and the spoon's coming and knocking you around. It's not a comfortable situation.
And you're changing form, by the way, because you were a hard
carrot,
potato, and now you're a soft
potato.
Potato. Now you're a soft potato. No, you're a soft carrot. So you're changing form too.
You're changing form, but out of that comes this richness, which couldn't have happened had we not been upset. Had we been, allowed to stay everything as it was, there's a lost opportunity of transformation. So yes, in our lives, a lot of people are feeling this energy of transformation. A lot of people are sitting in an in-between stage where they're not here and they're not there yet. So there's this great uncertainty in many people's lives. But that is beautiful. That's wonderful. Because in that moment, if you don't resist it and build up that suffering inside yourself, if you step back in the moment, just step back and find that space within you which is not suffering, which is not resisting. Now that's the real essence of who you are. And this process of transformation, not to punish us, is for us to find who and what we really are outside of the story that we've bought into for a long, long time. What part of you in this moment has no story, no judgment. So the advice in this, no matter how chaotic the world is around you, don't resist it. Step back into the place of stillness and see the magic that arises from that place. There is power in resisting not. I know it sounds absurd because we've been brought to believe in Newtonian physics.
Everything.
Newtonian physics is, if something's to happen, we've got to physically get out there and make it happen. That's the world of Newtonian physics. But about 120 years ago, we started discovering the universe doesn't work like that. It works through fields of energy. So by stepping back, by resisting, we're building up fields of resistance, right? Anger, resentment, whatever. By stepping back into this place of stillness that we're talking about, we create a field within us of peace. And that field of peace ripples out and gives birth to further experiences that mirror this peace within us. So we become, as Gandhi said, the peace we seek in the world. And it's a case of stepping back from the world of resistance into the world of acceptance. If something needs to be changed, change it.
Yeah, I also think there's another side to the resist nothing, which is also resist nothing. Don't resist your thoughts, don't resist your feelings, don't resist any of it. Because there is that resistance that comes in. Why am I feeling this? I shouldn't be feeling this. This feeling's ridiculous. Or this thought that I've just had, I shouldn't be having this thought. This thought is ridiculous. It's a thought and it's a feeling. And can we hold space for the thoughts and the feelings? Because if you're able to actually let them flow, they will flow through. It's the resistance that keeps them stuck, and then that becomes a block. So it's to actually see the thought. Yeah, I have this thought, but without the judgment.
Yeah, no resistance.
Why have I got this thought, and I shouldn't have the thought, and I've done enough work not to have this thought. Well, I've got this thought, and that's okay.
And the feeling.
And that same old thing that we often say, even though I'm having this thought, or even though I'm having this feeling, and then you breathe deeply. I deeply love and approve of myself right now. And that is part of the non-resistance, because also what comes up at this time is the pain body, that part of us that feels wounded, that feels wrong, that feels betrayed, that feels not good enough, doubtful, fearful, scared of the future, worried about something that's happened or isn't going to happen or should have happened. So that pain body it's a triggered response. And the only way that you can actually dissolve that pain body is to fully accept it and to love it. And loving, and if you look at what loving is, accepting, appreciating, allowing. So allowing it to be there, not trying to chase it away, not trying to kick it underground, because it will resist more. It's like a child having a tantrum, it's going to scream louder.
Yeah.
So it's to actually not resist even that. So I've been triggered. Interesting. Okay. Breathe. And don't resist it, because the resistance actually creates more blocks. And then the next time something happens, that's going to come out even with more guns blazing, and that pressure, the lid's going to fly off the pressure cooker.
Yeah, and we're going to have stew all over the ceiling.
Exactly. So it's not resisting anything, which is quite a difficult concept for us.
It is.
Because when you look at the human mind, it's built to resist and to judge. This is good, that's not. This is right, that's wrong. I like wind, I don't like this. I like rain, but I do like wind. It's very preferential, the mind. So it's just to see it. It's not to try and change yourself from being having a preferential mind. It's just to see, is there suffering involved? So I'm not crazy about wind, but am I going to go into suffering every time there's wind? Because then I'm choosing that. Because the wind's going to howl, irrespective of whether I like it or not.
Correct. And the mind will have preferences and judgments. That's what the ego is. The idea is not to get rid of the mind and not get rid of the ego. Not at all. Let it have its preferences and judgments. But in that moment, step back and just witness. And it's almost humorous
Yes.
when you're able to step back into that quiet space that isn't judging, that doesn't have a preference in this moment. It's there.
Yeah.
And when you step into back and you can hear the mind judging and having its little whinge and whine, and then you find, well, I'm not that. And that is the process of awakening. To find what you're not means what is left over is who you are. You are that stillness, that beautiful, quiet place of love. I just want to add, Linda, you gave us a comment there. That is going to be such a great adventure. Let's just change the first, the word from that to this, and take out the word going. This is a great adventure. Everything we're going through, all the turmoil, all the challenges in the world out there, this is a great adventure. Treat it like that. I remember years and years ago, and I've told the story before, but I want to repeat it. When I was a youngster, I went on a little, what do you call it, a roller coaster in Durban on the beachfront there. It was a little wooden thing, and shit, I was terrified. I was scared. And anyway, years went by, I moved to Cape Town. They built something called Rotunda Junction, which is a huge big thing, and they've got what's called the Cobra there, which is this massive roller coaster, and the kids all wanted to go on the roller coaster. Now I got married and had kids and that, and I remembered how scared I was as a youngster going on that little roller coaster, never mind the big one. And then I decided resist nothing. And what I did is I got into the front of that roller coaster, right in the front, and I treated it as a great exhilarating adventure. And the excitement overcame the fear. And I pretended I was driving the thing. And it was just unbelievable. I so enjoyed it. And that was a change from resistance to fully acceptance, and to see the moment as a wonderful, wonderful adventure. So that changes our whole state from pain and suffering to enjoyment. There's always joy. Behind all pain and suffering, and this, I know it's going to sound a bit insane, but I know this to be true. Behind all of the story, there's a quiet place. And in that quiet place, there's even joy to be found in this moment. Even though all of that is completely unacceptable, by stepping back into this place, we find a place that is in acceptance. And it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. And that is your awakened state. That is who you really, really are. And that state never changes. Doesn't get better, doesn't get worse. It's just always sitting there. It was with you when you were born. It was with you when you were 3 months old. It was with you when you were 10 years old. And it's always with you. And it doesn't change. That quiet, witnessing awareness. Yes, the mind gets caught up. And the mind ages. And the body ages. And you have all these experiences. But behind all of that, when you stop resisting, you find this beautiful, beautiful place. There was a teacher 2,000 years ago, and he called it heaven. And people mistook it for a place in the future somewhere. It isn't. In the Gospel of St. Thomas, when Jesus was asked where heaven was, he said it's all around you, but you perceive it not. It's a perceptual shift. That's what the difference is. And through the pain, and through the suffering, and through the terrible energies around us, that's the opportunity to break through and find what isn't caught up in that story. It's here, right now, right in this moment. It's with you. It is you.
Now, I believe that's actually what ascension is. It's ascending to the idea, or to the. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get out of this place. It means that you know that this is it. That you've transcended the fears and the separation. Because a lot of us will say, when this is over, then we're going to have utopia. And one day, when everybody loves each other and the world's a perfect place and everything's in peace and balance and harmony, then we'll all live as one and be happy. And I believe that the awakening is the awakening to the fact that it's now. That this is it. This is it right now. And we can choose whether we're going to be in suffering, or whether we're going to be, as John says, in bliss, or in peace, or in joy, or just in presence,
In love.
in love of
In
this moment.
Yeah.
And that's what we're learning, is that because the more attention that we place on the future or the past, we realize that it just pulls us into suffering. So what is the lesson there? The lesson, and that happens a lot when you experience loss, grief, a lot of, you lose somebody very precious to you, or you lose a home, or there's that, you almost get pulled into the present moment. It happens when people get very ill, when they get diagnosed with terminal illness. Suddenly they realize, oh my goodness, there's no future. Oh, okay, there's only now. And in that moment, they very often awaken, because they realize that this is it. There's nothing else. What if there is nothing else?
If this is it.
What if this is it? This right now, your life, my life, John's life, everybody on the group's life. What if this is it? What would you do differently if you weren't trying to get somewhere else to achieve something else that would make you better or happier? Or we were just saying earlier, as you get older, you're not going to get any prettier. That's a given.
I was never pretty to begin with.
You're gonna have to at some point accept the fact that, okay, this is actually what's happening. So if you're going to be projecting into the past or the future, I used to look like that and I should look like that, we're going to be very, very unhappy. So it really is. This is the only moment. This is it. What if this was it? How would we live our lives? There would be very little resistance if we really got that this is it. Because then we'd be going, oh, the wind. How wonderful is that? It shows that I'm alive.
Shows that there's
and that
air.
the planet's alive, and that there's air, and that we can breathe.
If there was no air,
We
there
would
would be
be
no
saying,
wind.
amazing, wow, what an adventure. It's windy.
Yeah.
But no, we're not, because we're comparing it to when it wasn't windy, or when it's not going to be windy in the future, So there's a whole story about the wind, as opposed to it's windy. It's windy, therefore I can't do blah, blah, blah. That's the story. And that's the resistance. That's what takes us into the resistance, right?
Yeah, it is. And there's something to be aware of, and that is we have words, and words create a perceptual screen for us, and we think the screen is real. And so it's to be mindful of the words we use and how we use them and what they really mean. Most people, when they talk about life, what they actually mean is not life at all. They're actually talking about something that's very dead. And what they're referring to is the story of past and the story of future. That's my life. That is not life. Life is only ever alive. And the only time that you are alive is in the present moment. You're not alive in the past. You're not alive in the future. You can only experience the life that you are in the present moment. And when you start to realize that, if I want a good life means that I have to be here, not a story. A good life can only be experienced in the present moment, not the past, not the future. And so it's to disconnect the word life from story, because it's not life that's ever a problem. It's the story that's a problem. So by not resisting the unfoldment of whatever is unfolding on the screen of our awareness, we then are able to step back into alignment with this energy we call life, because life is always here, perfect in this moment. The story might not be to your liking, but life in this moment is absolutely beautiful and sacred and perfect. The other thing which you can do as well, which really helps with this, for those of you who have a concept of, for example, a deity, if you want to call it like God, God is omnipresent. God is not omnipast, not omnifuture. In fact, time has got nothing to do with God. Time is our creation. God is timeless, outside of time. Eternity is outside of time, not time forever, but timelessness. So every time we go into our story, and we go into our story through resistance, Every time we resist what is happening, we go into a story. We separate from the timeless essence of the divine. So there's another motivation, because do you think that you will get along better or worse by separating yourself or connecting to the divine? So the more we accept, we don't resist this moment, we step back into alignment with the divine. If the divine is presence, which it is, the more you align yourself with presence, there's no name, there's no gender, there's no age, it's timeless, the less you will suffer. And the more empowered you become in creating a different future for yourselves on the screen, on the perceptual screen. But the inside doesn't need anything to change on the outside, because it is already aligned with that infinite peace of the present moment. So that's something to consider, that every time you leave the present moment, you are walking away from the divine, or from God, or whatever you want to say. That should be a motivation to spend more time in the present moment and less time in your story.
Yeah, but also another interesting thing that just came to mind is the if one had to know emphatically that you had chosen this exact thing,
Yeah.
then would the resistance release a bit? Would it dissolve a bit? Just what if? What if I chose this? Whatever that is. This dis-ease, this illness, this relationship issue,
This terrible
this
energy.
terrible wind, this terrible energy, the terrible situation in the world, my financial situation. What if I chose that? I chose every single thing that was happening. Then the resistance starts to go away, because, oh, I chose it. Okay, so this is an adventure for me to actually experience this, because I chose to experience this. And I do feel that we all, every single one of us, all 7 or 8 billion of us, chose to be here at this moment on earth. And this is a very profound time for us to be here. So there is a shift in human consciousness, and the earth herself, Gaia, is changing and shifting as
Evolving.
well, and shifting in vibration and energy. So we've chosen this very auspicious time to come here. So what if we just had to say, yeah, this is exactly what we're supposed to be experiencing? That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Then the resistance starts to dissolve, because the resistance comes from the perception that it shouldn't be happening.
It shouldn't be.
It?
Yeah.
This
The mind
shouldn't
always
be
thinks it
happening. I
shouldn't be.
shouldn't have got sick. I should have more money. I should be more successful. My
She shouldn't have left me.
relationship should have worked. He should have done this. She should have done that. That's where the resistance comes from. And it's just for us to know that that's what causes the suffering, not the actual thing necessarily. It's what we judge it as.
Yeah, because if you did choose everything that's happening in life, I'm going to suggest that it wasn't the human part of you that did the choosing.
No.
It was the much higher part of
It's
you
the
that
higher
did the
part,
choosing.
For sure.
And the higher part of you is, would you accept that the higher part of you has a far greater connection to love than the human part of you? And if it has a greater connection to love, it would want the best for itself in this brief human experience. So one of the analogies we can use in this, and particularly this time of the year, particularly in South Africa, it's exam time. The schools and universities are all going through exams at the moment, all preparing for exams. And an exam, we can say whatever we like about the educational system, and maybe it's not perfect, but an exam is not there necessarily to punish students, although it might seem that way. It's there actually to squeeze you to the next level. It's actually a portal to something above where you are right now. So the pain, the suffering that we're going through is not there to punish us. It's not because we've been bad in the past and that we're reaping this bad karma in the moment. No, don't look at it that way. Say that I am being readied for something more magnificent, more beautiful. And all that no longer serves me is being sandpapered away through the trauma and the challenges in the world around me. I'm being sandpapered. All the dross is being chipped away so that the beautiful diamond that I am can be revealed, can sparkle its light brighter into the world. So to see it as a process, a good process of transformation. And you do that by resisting nothing. And I just want to clarify that resist nothing. This is an internal resistance we're talking about. The internal resistance creates suffering. We can, on the outside, say no, but it's the internal resistance. So say, for example, the example that Eckhart Tolle talks about, if someone offers you drugs, you don't have to say, well, John and Michelle told us on the Satsang to resist nothing, so give me the drugs. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the internal resistance. You can quite happily and quite rightly say no to something on the outside. No, that doesn't suit me. But it's the internal resistance. You shouldn't be selling drugs. You shouldn't be doing that. Now there's a huge resistance on the inside, which influences the field, and the field influences our future experiences. So if you're quite calmly inside with no resistance, he is selling drugs. Yes, that's what is happening in the moment. Someone is offering you drugs. Or the other example he uses is sitting in a restaurant and you get served rotten fish. You don't say, John and Michelle said I must resist nothing and eat the fish. No, what we're saying is in the moment you are being served fish that's off. So in the moment you say, waiter, this fish is off. Please bring me fresh fish. There's no, you shouldn't have brought me this fish. What is wrong with this restaurant? I thought you had a good reputation. What's wrong with you? Couldn't you smell it before you brought it to the table? There is that resistance in you, which is going to have to be reaped in the future. So just be mindful that the resist nothing is an internal process, not an external process. You're quite within your rights. If someone is being abusive to you, you walk away from that situation. You remove yourself from the situation. But if you remove yourself in anger and resentment, you're going to meet that anger and resentment again on your path because you're sending those ripples of energy into the field. So you accept, yes, they are an abusive person, and I honor myself. I love myself enough not to be in that space anymore. So I calmly, without resistance and anger in me, remove myself from that situation, from those circumstances. So that's quite a difference, but it's always about the internal. It's your internal environment that's more important than your external environment. You're not, from this level of experience, your egoic, I know your ego takes lovely responsibility for the whole universe, but in fact, you are not doing that creating in this moment. Most of what's happening to you is beyond your control. But what is absolutely within your control and which is your responsibility is your internal environment, is your internal experience. That's 100% your creation and your responsibility in this moment.
Yep.
And if it is peace that you want, if it is love that you want, and if it is joy that you want, and if it is ease that you want, and if it is eternal life that you want, resist nothing. Come back to God. Come back to peace. Come back to heaven. Come back to ease. It's in this moment. Nowhere else. It's right here, right now, underneath the waves of your mind, underneath all the disturbances of the mind and the emotions, there's deep peace in this moment. If you have enjoyed what we've shared tonight, please press the like and the share button, and we love getting the hearts. Thank you very much. And send us comments. We love hearing from you. Maybe you disagree with what we are saying, and if you disagree, please put it in the comments. If you agree, also put it in the comments. If you have any other ideas that you'd like to share, please put them in the comments as well. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
And just before we close, on our inner space journey,
What's inner space?
Our inner space community for November, our concept, our theme is holding space.
Yeah.
And that's taking us through the eclipse season, and it's basically working with this, is actually holding space for whatever arises. So if you're not part of our community, you might want to join us for the month.
And how do they do that?
Beautiful community. Go to journeysofawakening.com and you look at Inner Space, and you can sign up there just for the month if you like, or for join our community for more permanent.
Yeah, if you join for the whole year, you get 2 months free.
It's a really beautiful, very interactive, very supportive community.
And
I think at this
some
time,
of you are on it,
yeah, we have got quite a few Inner Spaces on our Satsangs.
Yeah.
It's just a very supportive group.
Yeah.
And it would be lovely to have you with us.
And we meet up twice a month, and we have a 90-minute live Zoom session where you get to ask your questions and have the support for whatever you're going through in life in that moment. And there's beautiful support in those 90-minute Zoom sessions. Plus there's some journaling work that's given, and meditation and creative exercise. There's always a beautiful, wonderful
information. There's lots of stuff there.
So join the community. It's time now to find a new soul family.
It is.
Your old genetic families, maybe they're not the ones that you need to find support in, but you can find support in your soul family. And the Inner Space is a beautiful soul family.
It is.
It really is.
So thank you for all your Inner Spaces. You're part of our family. Thank you.
Thank you.
And our little Satsang family as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful having you here on Satsang. Yeah. Okay. And someone was asking us earlier when the next Journey to Freedom courses, the next one will start towards the second half of January.
Yeah.
So we'll put up the details shortly about that. And if you haven't done the Journey to Freedom course, it's 13 weeks. It's really worthwhile doing. And if you want to redo it again, you're welcome to redo it again with us. The transformation is truly amazing on that. We love those.
Yeah,
that
beautiful.
Course,
yeah.
Do you want to lead us up?
Closing
and then we're going to give you an affirmation card for the coming week to help you through this eclipse season.
Remember to breathe.
Yeah, there's a good advice. Remember to breathe. Yeah.
Really, remember to breathe.
Yeah. Thank you, Paula, for your nice comment.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Paula.
Right.
Thank you, Tanya.
Let's do a lovely meditation just to see you out. It'll be a resist nothing meditation, I think. All right, so let's just settle in and settle into your seat, or if you're lying down, make yourself really comfy. And take a beautiful deep breath in to the count of 4. Hold for a second and then release to the count of 6. On the next in-breath to the count of 4, all the way in, up to the chest. And then release through your mouth. And the third, beautiful breath in. And then out through the mouth as if you're blowing pressure out of a pressure cooker. Let it all out. All the breath out. So that you're nice and empty. And then just allow the breath to come in and out. Like a gentle wave. And just notice that there's no forcing, that you don't have to do anything, but the breath naturally enters in through the nostrils and exits at its own pace. Just connect with that very little point at the nostrils where the breath comes in. Not pushing or forcing, you're just noticing. And allow your body to soften. Allow your shoulders to release and to drop. Smooth that furrowed brow line. Soften the little muscles around your eyes. Unclench your jaw. Rest your hands gently open. And allow that wave of release just move through your body. in this moment, we're just going to notice where we are. So notice what you're feeling in your body. Are there any areas of tightness? Or maybe there are areas of burning or pain. See if you can just release. Notice, allow it to be the way it is. And just open more to it. Imagine if you could just open. So wherever that discomfort might be, breathe into that area and open it more. Soften it more. Now connect to a situation in your life which you might be finding stressful or challenging or concerning, painful. Bring that into your awareness, remembering that you're still in the position of the observer. Continuing to breathe, bring that situation, just bring it gently into your awareness as if it was coming onto a screen. See if you can just allow it to just be the way it is, as if you had chosen it, as if it were in perfect order. As if there were no rights or no wrongs. And it's just the way it is. For your experience at this point of your journey. Now connect with a feeling that you might be feeling or have been feeling. And connect in with where you feel that feeling. And once again, breathe into that area and open to that feeling. Breathe into it and allow it to be exactly the way it is. With no judgment. No trying to chase it away, change it, fix it. And just breathe out that sigh of relief that there's nothing you need to fix. Underneath any turmoil, any worry, any pain, there is this beautiful point of peace. Just allow that peace to arise in you, just to flood your body in this moment. Now to permeate every pore in your body. Underneath all the noise, just dropping into this place of peace. Knowing that it's here always for you. Just a few breaths away. And now start to take a beautiful deep breath in and out, and staying in this peaceful place. You might want to open your eyes.
That's beautiful. Lovely. No resistance. That's lovely.
Peaceful in there.
Peaceful, beautiful. So we have a whole host of cards here. Let's see what card the universe is going to give us for this week ahead. Shall we? This affirmation. Affirmations, we can see them as a message to us, but we can also use it as a tool to repattern our neurology. We create new pathways in our brain, and we create new realities from those new pathways. So what do we get today? That's a beautiful one.
It's lovely, huh? I live my life with joy.
I live my life with joy.
I thought I lived my life with John.
No, joy. I'm Joy. Didn't I even tell you?
I'm going to call you Joy from now on.
I live my life with joy. Yeah. So I'll photograph that, put that up on the Facebook page, and that will be our affirmation for this week ahead. Despite what happens in the world around you,
yes,
I live my life with joy. Beautiful. Thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Just press the like and the share button, please. Thank you.
Have a lovely, lovely week.
Yeah, we look forward to catching up with you after the one eclipse.
Yes.
Yeah. Next Sunday, we'll meet up again. Love
Thanks,
and
everyone.
blessings. Thank you.